Have you ever witnessed a complete reshuffling of the NFL deck while everyone was looking the other way? Because that's exactly what's been happening in 2025, and the sheer volume of player movement is absolutely staggering. While casual fans were busy debating playoff predictions and fantasy football lineups, NFL front offices have been conducting business at a pace that would make Wall Street traders dizzy. We're not talking about your typical offseason tinkering here. This is a full-blown reconstruction of rosters across the entire league, and the numbers are mind-blowing. Let's put this into perspective with some jaw-dropping statistics. From March through late August 2025, we've witnessed over 40 significant trades involving established players, draft picks, and future considerations. That's not counting the countless pick-for-pick swaps that happen behind the scenes. We're looking at roughly one major trade every 4 days during this period. But here's what makes this truly extraordinary: the caliber of players changing uniforms. We're not just seeing fringe roster guys getting shuffled around. Deebo Samuel, one of the most dynamic receivers in the game, packed his bags from San Francisco to Washington for what amounts to pocket change, a measly 5th-round pick. DK Metcalf, a Pro Bowl receiver in his prime, found himself wearing black and gold in Pittsburgh after years of defining Seattle's aerial attack. The quarterback carousel has been spinning faster than a slot machine in Las Vegas. Kenny Pickett has become the NFL's version of a rental car, bouncing from Philadelphia to Cleveland to Las Vegas in the span of 6 months. Sam Howell has ping-ponged between Seattle, Minnesota, and Philadelphia like he's collecting frequent flyer miles. Something fascinating has emerged from studying these trade patterns. Teams are absolutely obsessed with upgrading their interior offensive lines. The Chicago Bears went on a shopping spree that would make even the most dedicated Black Friday shopper jealous, acquiring both Jonah Jackson from the Rams and Joe Thuney from the Chiefs within days of each other. This isn't coincidence, it's strategic evolution. In an era where pass rushers are getting more athletic and defensive coordinators are scheming up increasingly complex blitz packages, protecting the pocket from the inside out has become paramount. Teams are realizing that having elite guards can be the difference between a successful season and watching your quarterback get pummeled into submission. The Texans jumped on this trend as well, bringing in Ed Ingram from Minnesota. When you see multiple teams making similar moves simultaneously, you know there's a fundamental shift in how franchises are evaluating talent and building their rosters. Washington's aggressive approach deserves special recognition because it represents exactly how modern NFL teams should operate when they identify their championship window. Trading for Deebo Samuel was just the appetizer. The main course came when they acquired left tackle Laramie Tunsil from Houston, essentially mortgaging their future by sending away multiple picks, including a 2026 second-rounder. But here's the brilliant part: they're not just collecting talent randomly. Every move serves a specific purpose in protecting and supporting their quarterback. Samuel gives them a proven playmaker who can create separation and gain yards after the catch. Tunsil anchors the blind side, providing the kind of elite protection that allows quarterbacks to step into throws without fear. This is textbook championship building in the salary cap era. When you believe you have your franchise quarterback, you go all in on surrounding him with the tools necessary to succeed. The Commanders clearly believe their time is now, and they're not waiting for draft picks to develop. While everyone was focused on offensive upgrades, Pittsburgh quietly executed one of the most intriguing defensive trades of the year. Sending Minkah Fitzpatrick to Miami in exchange for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith was the kind of move that makes you appreciate the chess match aspect of NFL roster construction. Fitzpatrick is undoubtedly a talented safety, but Ramsey brings something different to the table: elite man coverage ability and a championship pedigree. When you're building a defense in today's NFL, having a cornerback who can eliminate receivers one-on-one is invaluable. It allows defensive coordinators to be more creative with their schemes and provides flexibility that transcends simple talent evaluation. The addition of Jonnu Smith as part of the package was just smart business. Getting a proven tight end who can contribute both as a receiver and blocker while upgrading at cornerback, That's the kind of trade that can define a season. What's particularly fascinating is how trade activity has intensified as we approach roster cutdown dates. The final week of August has been absolutely chaotic, with teams making last-minute moves to address depth concerns and positional needs. The Eagles have been particularly active, seemingly determined to build the deepest roster possible. Acquiring John Mechie from Houston and bringing back Fred Johnson from Jacksonville shows a team that understands the importance of having quality depth at skill positions and along the offensive line. Meanwhile, the Saints have been quietly building something special, adding Devon Vele from Denver and Luke Fortner from Jacksonville. These aren't headline-grabbing moves, but they represent smart roster building that could pay dividends when injuries inevitably strike. Perhaps the most interesting subplot in all of this is how teams are valuing future draft picks. We're seeing franchises willing to trade away 2026 and even 2027 selections for immediate help, suggesting that many organizations believe their championship windows are open right now. The Cowboys have been particularly aggressive in this regard, trading future picks for Kenneth Murray, George Pickens, and Joe Milton. Dallas clearly believes they have the core pieces in place and are willing to sacrifice future flexibility for present-day talent. This approach carries inherent risks, but it also demonstrates a refreshing willingness to be aggressive when opportunities arise. Too many teams get paralyzed by the fear of making a bad trade and end up missing chances to improve their rosters. What makes this trade bonanza even more compelling is how each move creates ripple effects throughout the league. When Washington acquires Deebo Samuel, it doesn't just make them better, it potentially makes every other NFC team's path to the playoffs more difficult. When Chicago upgrades their interior line, they're not just protecting their quarterback better, they're sending a message to division rivals that they're serious about competing. When Pittsburgh adds DK Metcalf size and athleticism to their receiving core, they're fundamentally changing how opposing defenses have to prepare for them. Looking at all this movement, one thing becomes crystal clear. We're heading into one of the most competitive and unpredictable NFL seasons in recent memory. The traditional power structures have been shaken up, depth charts have been rewritten, and chemistry will need to be built on the fly. Teams that have been aggressive in improving their rosters, Washington, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Houston, are positioning themselves for breakthrough seasons. Meanwhile, franchises that have been more conservative might find themselves falling behind in an increasingly competitive landscape. The beauty of all this chaos is that it makes predicting outcomes nearly impossible. When this many quality players change teams, it creates opportunities for unexpected success stories and surprising disappointments. The 2025 NFL season is shaping up to be unlike anything we've seen before, and these trades are just the beginning. Strap in, football fans. We're in for one wild ride, and I can't wait to see how all these moves play out on the field. What's your take on all this wheeling and dealing? Which team do you think made the smartest moves, and who might have gotten too aggressive for their own good? Hit that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes to just how crazy this offseason has been, and drop your hottest trade takes in the comments. I'm reading every single one and would love to debate which franchises are setting themselves up for glory.